My life has changed beyond measure since losing 175 pounds. Back when I was 350 pounds, my life was just one big logistical operation. Most people would go and buy a coffee without having to think about it. They would just walk in and walk back out. But with me, I had to survey the room, looking around like Terminator, thinking, oh, am I going to get down that aisle without knocking into somebody and spraying coffee all over them? But now I just move without thinking. I don't have to, I'm just relaxed. I walk down the street, I don't have to worry about getting out of breath, and I don't feel like I don't belong or should apologise for my presence. I just stroll in and pick things off the rack, and now all I have to worry about is whether I can afford it or whether it's my colour. Then you focus on this little picture, the little details, because if I had a thought every day, the fact that I had to lose 175 pounds, I think I would have just fallen straight into the arms of a chocolate bar, because that's just completely overwhelming. So then I realised that it was all about focusing on all the little decisions you make every day. Every day you make hundreds of choices that can spell the difference between getting bigger or starting to shrink. Just in the morning, do I have that bowl of granola, or do I have that giant blueberry muffin? And then do I sit on the couch for 20 minutes watching the telly, or do I go for a walk around the block? And then the more of these little tiny decisions you make in the positive direction, that starts accumulating into this change, and it's rather than being this dramatic crash diet that you thought it would have to be, it's just little changes adding up over time. I highly recommend blogging. If you've got an almighty project on your hand, you're going to need to have a moan along the way. And for me, writing about, my quest to stay away from the chips, sending that, typing away at the keyboard, kept my hands busy. I wasn't eating. I was thinking about why, when I felt hungry and why. And you start to learn about yourself, and you learn the patterns of your behaviour, and before you know it, you're learning, and then you're reaching out into the World Wide Web, and there's hundreds and hundreds of people around the world that feel just like you, and you realise you're not alone at all. I think the biggest diet myth of all is that there is a diet out there that is the holy grail of diets that will change your life. I believe that any diet works. They all work, as long as you can stick to them. I personally, the way I eat and exercise is a smorgasbord of all the different diets I've tried, and I just pluck out the bits that work for me. You don't have to be perfect, just persistent. There's no wagon to fall off, it's just life happening to you. You can have your cake and you can eat it too, but just make it a smaller slice.